Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtiwada. In this video, we will learn about differ and await. So this is something related to useLoaderData. So what is useLoaderData? Whenever you are using useLoaderData along with a normal await strategy for fetching the data, we will be facing some set of problems. Let me show you what is the problem. Let me jump into Visual Studio Code. Here in this example, I have explained how we can fetch the data before going to a specific route. And if you see here, fetch to do's is called on the products. So you are getting the products. Until you get that products, it will not go into this particular route. So that is the actual loaders strategy. But what we are doing here is we are waiting for the user not to interact until you get the data. For example, if this fetch call is taking longer time, let me take like 2 minutes or 1 minute, the user cannot interact with the page and that will give a bad user experience. Now what I want to do is I want to solve this, and that is where we came up with differ and await. So in this case, you are waiting until all the data is available and then you are navigating to the products and where you are showing all the data. Now what I'll do is I'll change the same approach but with a different example. So what I'll do is I'll remove all the data whatever we have before. So let me remove this one and then the outlet or the output. So let me save this. Now what I want to do is I don't want to wait until you get this data. So let me show you how we are waiting until the data is fetched. So let me go here and create a use effect to understand the problem first. So let me go here and write the console.log of. I'm getting something like products use effect. So this is my use effect, and let me save this. Now go to the browser and clear this off. And also I have one console over here. Let me remove this and I'll maintain something like fetch to do's. So if it is coming here, this is called as fetch to do's, and once the component is loaded, you will be getting a use effect with empty array so that it will be loading only once. So let me go here and go inside the dashboard and then let me click the products. So when I click the products, it's waiting until you get complete data. So let me go here and convert this into no thresholding, and then let me go into the console. Let me click on products. Now fetch data is called. Already I'm in the products, so let me go into dashboard and let me click on products again. So you can see fetch to this is called and then the products use effect is called. That means it is waiting until your fetch to do's is completed. So how I understand this? So let me go here and go to the dashboard. Let me make this as 3G. I want to make it very slow. So let me go into the console, clear this off, and let me click on products. So now if you see, still it is waiting until you are completing this particular network call. Until the network call is done, you cannot see the UI. I'll show you again. So let me go here, clear this off dashboard, and now let me go into the network call, clear this off. Let me click on products. You can see there is a call happened. Till that call is completed, you cannot see the UI over here. So that is the main problem with this approach, using the loaders without using differ. So now to solve this problem, to give a proper user interaction and also to give a proper modular approach to our component, they gave one more feature called as differ. So differ helps us to return a promise. So in this case, I don't want to wait something like this. I'll change a bit. I don't want to await anything. Instead, I'll use dot then and I'll be getting a data or a response. Let me use a response, and this response is something like return response.json. Again, this is a actual promise. So one promise is resolving and the second promise is returning. So let me remove this, and now I'll return this data but by using a differ function. So differ function is given by React router DOM. So what it does is it will receive an object and the object is something like data. So whatever the promise we are returning over here, it will be returned back. And also let me go into products. Already you have the console. So what I'll do is I'll try to wait how it looks like. So let me go here, clear this off and go to dashboard. And now let me jump onto the products. So if you see the products, now both, that means the fetch call console and immediately you will get the use effect even without the network call is completed. So let me go here and click on products. Now you can see there will be a network call in the background, but by the time it completed, you got all the data. So that's how it works. That means it is going in an asynchronous way. So whenever you don't want to wait the completion of your API call in the loader, then you can use directly by using differ. So how to solve this in the UI? Whenever you are using differ, you have to make sure to use your loader with await. Before, there is no await because already you are getting in a synchronous manner. Here we are getting an asynchronous data, so we have to wait for our loader data. So let me go here, const this is my data is equal to use loader data. So this will be giving a promise. So promise cannot resolve directly, hence we have to use another approach to resolve it. So approach is very simple. We have a await element which is given by your React router DOM, and inside this you have a property called as resolve. So resolve is something like whatever the data you are getting from promise, for what property you are waiting. I am waiting for this data, but inside this data I am getting a data object again. Here you are returning a data, so I am using data.data. So instead of using that, you can use something like loader data. Just for our understanding purpose, this loader data is a promise based and it is returning a resolved value called as data. So that data will be resolved. Once it is resolved, you have to capture that by using a callback function, and this callback function will have the actual data. And here what I can do is I can just use some set of logic to loop this, because this is an array whatever I'm getting. So I can use return actual data dot or question mark dot map, and this map will receive the value called as response, and this response is returning a button, or you can use a paragraph where it has to render response dot title. So title is the response which we are getting from the backend response, but this is an await. That means it executes after certain period of time. So whenever it executes after certain period of time, you have to show a fallback value. The fallback value can be shown by using your suspense. Already we know about suspense. Inside this suspense, you can have a fallback function, and that fallback will return an element. Let me write h1 loading data, and then let me go to suspense, cut this and put it over here. So let me format this and save this. Now you are getting a loading data as expected. Until this is resolved, this fallback will be working in the background. So let me go here and clear this off. Let me go into dashboard. Now let me click on products. You can see loading data because network call is still loading. Once the network call is done, that suspense is replaced with the actual data. So that's how your suspense with await will work. So now what is the advantage? The main advantage is you can use asynchronous data without holding the UI. We are giving an interaction option. Why we have to give the interaction option? You may be getting that question as well. For example, I have a page which shows users list. Along with the users list, I want to show some other data as well. For example, I have another function called as sample is equal to, I want to fetch some JSON to dos. So let me go here, JSON placeholder, and inside this JSON placeholder, let me go here to the down, and I want to get something like a posts. So let me copy this posts. So let me go here and I want to get some set of posts, and let me use specifically one, and here also let me use only one to dos, and this will be returning the value, actual value. So what I'll do, instead of doing this, I'll not change this to dos, but I'll change this post where it is having a dot then, and this will be having a response, and this response should return another promise called as response.json, and this is something like posts. So what I'll do is I can give posts colon sample. This is one approach, or I will name this as posts. So now I have two responses which is depending on two APIs. One API may complete in 1 second, second API can complete in 2 seconds. That means there could be a delay in both the APIs. But if we are using normal loader approach without this differ, what happens is it will wait until both the responses are triggered and coming back. So that is the biggest problem, because if the first one is taking 1 second, if the second one is taking 2 seconds, it has to wait minimum of 2 seconds to get the proper data. So that is not user experience. That is not the user experience which we want to give. That's why what we can do is we can maintain both of these data and we can await both of them based on their responses. For example, once I get the data, I'll be showing the data. Once I get the post, I'll be showing the post. So it will show the response, whatever is received first. So let me go here, and now I'll write one more suspense so that there will be two loaders now. So let me copy this, and I want to show at the top level. This one is something like loading post, and this one will receive posts. Here the data is posts, and inside this it is not returning the value. That means it is not returning an array. Instead it is returning a paragraph. So I can use directly something like this, paragraph, and here I can use actual data dot, I can use any of this value. So I'll use something like title, and this is my title. What I'll do is I'll make this one as h5 to just differentiate between them, h5, and save this. Now you are getting the actual data from the post, and here the fallback is loading post, and here the fallback is loading data. So let me go here into the React and clear this off. Let me go into dashboard. Now whenever I click this, you will be seeing two API calls, products. You can see to dos and one. Whatever is completed first, you will be getting that data. But here they are working as same time. So if you see the time, it is 2.09 seconds. If you see these times, 2.06 seconds. That means it is having a millisecond gap. In that millisecond gap, the first one will be rendered first and the second will be rendered next. So that's how your differ and await will help us in our React Router DOM. So now let's understand what is the difference. So loader versus differ loaders. So whenever you want to use loaders, loaders will wait until the data is resolved and will not render the UI until it is resolved. That means until you are resolving the actual data, UI will not be visible. This reduces the user interaction. If the user is not available with loader or the data, he can be available with post, where he can interact with the post instead of waiting for data. So that's how your loaders will give less user experience. Whereas differ and await will work asynchronously and will render the UI with a fallback until the data is loaded. That is what we saw. So whenever you are using a data and the posts, both will be using a fallback. Whichever comes from the backend, it renders, and remaining thing will show the fallback content. So that's how your differ and await will work. And this also increases the user interaction and also user experience. So that's how you can use your differ and await in your React Router DOM. Hope this gave a clear and glance understanding of differ and await, and also the difference between loaders versus differ loaders in React Router DOM. And this will work only for data APIs. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.